Peace, everyone. This is Compound Combat. Name says it all. I'm Rob Jarrell, and I'm here to talk to you today about tonight's fights on, if I'm not mistaken, it's on HBO, and there is a card on Showtime. First of all, I gotta apologize that we haven't really been as consistent with the videos. It's a lot of stuff going on personally and professionally, and Hakeem and I haven't really been able to get together like we wanted to. Just the schedules have not matched up, and sometimes it is what it is. You work around it. But getting into everything, tonight we have Luis Ortiz fighting Tony Thompson for a heavyweight tilt. And then on the main event, co-main event, it is Saddam Ali versus Jesse Vargas. Also, Showtime has a card where it's going to feature Julian Williams versus something Matano. I have to take another look. But this is kind of like a fill-in fight. To me, he's been one of the more avoided fighters at 154 pounds. And he's long overdue for an eliminator or a title shot. And hopefully this leads to something for him. And second, we have a middleweight tilt, if I'm not mistaken, between Tony Harrison and Fernando Guerrero. That's Guerrero's a veteran. He's been around the block. I think he only has like 2 or 3 losses. And Tony Harrison had a minor setback. Not on his last fight, but the fight before that. So I'm taking J-Rock. The guy's just, he's a sick fighter. Great punch delivery, nasty demeanor once he gets in the ring. He's looking to end the fight. He's looking to take care of business. Now, we'll definitely like to see him versus either Andre, one of the Charlo brothers, any big name. And Tony Harrison, Fernando Guerrero is not a knockout artist, so I'm kind of looking for Tony Harrison to win a hard-fought match if he fights smart and tries not to get, too caught on the inside. Yeah, that punch, Willie Nelson was just able to weather the storm and take him out later in the fight. This one, he should win by knockout, but it remains to be seen. Like I said, Guerrero's kind of a tough guy. And he's a good veteran. Now, moving on tonight, Saddam Ali, he's looking to, this is his stepping stone, which should be against, should he win, to fight for a title at 147. The guy's an Olympian. He's fought some really good fights, and he's actually been growing as a fighter. I know they moved him along a little bit slowly, but now he's kind of revved it up, getting opponents out of there. He doesn't have that glossy knockout record percentage, but against a guy like Jesse Vargas, he'll definitely be able to test his mettle. Jesse Vargas is not too spectacular of a fighter. I think he does a lot of stuff well, but he doesn't really have the speed or the that real boxing ability, which was shown in the Bradley fight. He doesn't really have the speed, but he can weather the storm. He is a pretty tough guy, pretty good beard. I think he is going to catch Ali at times just by setting it up, just like he set up Tim Bradley at the end of their fight. But I can't really see him winning. I think Saddam Ali is fresher. I think he is way more motivated, and I think he hits harder. So I gotta go with Ali. I don't see him knocking Vargas out. I see this going the full, I believe it's 12 rounds. I want to say it's an eliminator, but I see Saddam Ali just straight up outboxing him and possibly getting a knockdown versus Vargas. But Vargas is the bigger guy. He's got to keep Ali at the end of his jab, but unfortunately, like I said, he couldn't do it with Bradley. I can't really see him doing that much with Ali. Ali just can't stand in one place. He's got to move. He's got to use the ring versus Vargas. Now, going with Ortiz versus Thompson, I think Ortiz had another fight, I want to say, against Marius Watt. It was something else that was set up. I think there was it fell through for whatever reason. It could be a visa, it could be money, it could be whatever. We're not here to talk about the politics right now. But this is not an easy fight for Ortiz. I think Ortiz has great power. He's a great counter puncher, and he doesn't really get hit super cleanly. But against a guy like Tony Thompson, who is more short notice, he's left-handed, and I don't think he was training for a left-hander. I mean, Tony Thompson fight happened within the last 2 weeks, so that's not a lot of time. And Tony Thompson is not one of those guys who is going to be in supreme shape for whatever fight he fights. That's not him. He's the guy. He's just always ready to fight, and he doesn't really have that sexy style that you would like to see from a fighter. I mean, it's the heavyweight division. He's not gonna outspeed you. He's not going to bludgeon you. He doesn't really do that pretty style. He's not really even a grinder, kind of like how Brian Jennings was. Brian Jennings used his supreme conditioning and his reach to kind of outwork you. And he has good fundamentals, but he just doesn't have that where he can just straight up outbox you. And he showed that, or make the adjustments like Ortiz does. Tony Thompson is one of those guys that's very steady. He's going to land. I think he can land a good jab. I think Ortiz will see most of it coming. But let's look at the name that Thompson has beaten. He's beaten David Price. He gave Malik Scott all he could handle. He even knocked him down in the fight. If I'm not mistaken, he beat Luis Ortiz countryman Olanir Solis twice. And we know that was a conditioning issue. And the one thing about Ortiz, he's ready to go, but he's not an overly conditioned guy. He's conditioned for the fight enough, but he's not a guy that he's not going out there doing crazy road work or workouts, kind of like how a guy like Iris Laura or Guillermo Rigondeaux would do. I think his conditioning could use some work, and the spots that he picks to get rest or to kind of reel it back and not overexert himself is where Tony Thompson will take advantage. And Tony Thompson can press forward, especially in those spots. I think he's smart enough and experienced enough to realize those are moments that he could take advantage of. And even in the gym that he comes out of, I mean, he's kind of have a fairly nasty attitude in the ring as well. And out that gym, I think they will be able to make better adjustments to Luis Ortiz, as he's not going to stand in there and just get punched or not move, or you got to try to nullify Ortiz's attack. And I'm not talking about with head movement or anything. I think more so as him is either crowded space or just try to make those punches not land cleanly, which he can do. And I think there's going to be some times where Tony Thompson is just going to get caught by Ortiz. It's going to happen. Any mistake that Thompson makes, I think Ortiz could take advantage of. But being a left-hander and kind of being not sneaky, but he just kind of finds ways to win. And I think he hits fairly hard. We know one punch can change a heavyweight fight, but I think a punch from Tony Thompson has changed fights against other fighters on this level. Like I said, Malik Scott, Solis, David Price got caught in those fights, which he had, I think, more success. And he would get caught, and Tony Thompson would just try to close out the fight. So just look for this. I want to say it's going to go to full fight. I see someone getting knocked down. It's kind of hard to say who. And Luis Ortiz can't take any time off in this fight. And I think in those spots is where he takes a rest during the fight. Is where Thompson is going to press his attack. I see Luis Ortiz winning a unanimous decision, but it's not going to be easy. If he does get the KO, it's going to be a late round KO. If you have any questions, just let me know. Hakeem's going to do the preview for tonight's UFC with Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz. and Holly Holm and Miesha Tate, which should be a really good fight because they were supposed to fight a long time ago, and there was some politics behind that. It is what it is. And that dates back to Strikeforce. So check that out. If you have any questions, just let us know. We're going to bring you some more technical toolboxes coming up. We're going to bring you some interviews, which we hope to get done within the month of either March or April. And don't forget to write us in capitalcombat@gmail.com, on Facebook at Capital Combat, Instagram at Capital Combat, and Google Plus at Capital Combat. Till next time, folks. Peace.